Your optometrist just told you your child needs myopia control. Now you've got 3 options on the counter: MiyoSmart, Stellest, MyoCare, and every brand's marketing page says theirs is the best one. Here's the truth: they're not interchangeable, and best actually depends on your specific child. I'm going to break down exactly how each one works, where the real differences are, and which situations each one is actually built for, so you can walk into that decision informed, not guessing. Here's where most parents get stuck. They read 3 different brand websites, each one claiming superior results, and walk away more confused than when they started. That's not your fault. It's because all 3 companies are marketing competing technologies that on paper sound nearly identical. And the stakes of getting it wrong feel high because these aren't cheap lenses, and nobody wants to spend that money and find out 6 months later the progression didn't slow down. So let's actually separate the marketing from the optics, because once you understand what's physically different inside each lens, the decision gets a lot less confusing. Let's dive into the engineering details of how these lenses actually work. All 3 lenses are built on the same core idea: correcting central vision normally, while altering how light lands on the peripheral retina, which is what slows down the eye's elongation. Where they differ is the engineering behind that peripheral correction. MiyoSmart, made by Hoya, uses something called DIMS, defocus incorporated multiple segments. Picture a honeycomb pattern of hundreds of tiny lenslets surrounding a clear central zone. Each one of those segments creates a myopic defocus signal in the periphery. It's the most clinically established of the 3. The original research goes back to 2014 out of Hong Kong Polytechnic University, so it has the longest published track record. Stellest, made by Essilor, uses HALT, highly aspherical lenslet target. Instead of a honeycomb, picture concentric rings, over 1,000 contiguous aspherical micro lenslets arranged around the center. The lenslets are smaller and more numerous than MiyoSmart's, and Essilor's research, which started a few years later out of Wenzhou Medical University, focused heavily on maintaining that constant peripheral signal across the whole lens surface. MyoCare, made by Zeiss, takes a different approach entirely. Instead of discrete lenslets, it uses a continuous aspherical surface, cylindrical microlens technology that creates a smoother, less segmented peripheral correction. It's the newest of the 3 to reach the North American market, so its published research base is still growing compared to the other 2, but early comparative studies are promising, and Zeiss has been transparent that the design goal was reducing visual artifacts. Some patients report with segmented lenslet designs. On efficacy, independent clinical data on MiyoSmart and Stellest has consistently shown around a 60% reduction in myopia progression compared to standard single-vision lenses. MyoCare's manufacturer reported data targets similar performance, and it's increasingly included in head-to-head comparative trials. But because it's newer to market, it simply has less independently published, peer-reviewed history than the other 2 right now. That's not necessarily a knock on it, it's just where it is in its research timeline. Insight number 1. Segmented lenslets versus continuous design isn't just a technical detail. Some kids report more visual noise or haze with the honeycomb or ring segment designs, especially at night, while others don't notice it at all. If your child is sensitive to visual artifacts, that's worth flagging to your optometrist before fitting, not after. Insight number 2. Track record isn't the same as effectiveness. MyoCare being newer doesn't mean it works less well. It means there's simply less long-term published data to point to yet. If you want the deepest evidence base, MiyoSmart and Stellest currently have it. If your optometrist has clinical reasons to recommend MyoCare for your child's specific situation, that's not a downgrade. Insight number 3. Fit and frame compatibility matter more than people expect. These lenses have specific minimum fitting heights and frame size requirements because of where the optical treatment zone sits on the lens. A great lens technology poorly fitted to the wrong frame won't perform the way the clinical studies suggest it should. Here's my actual recommendation. Don't walk in asking for a specific brand by name. Walk in and ask your optometrist, given my child's age, prescription, and how fast it's been progressing, which of these 3 technologies fits best for your specific child? That's a different and much better question than which one's the best. If you're in the Burlington area, we carry and fit all 3 at Frey Optical, and we'll walk you through exactly this comparison in person, lens in hand. Links in the description to book. And if this helped clear things up, subscribe. There's a lot more of this kind of straight talk content coming. Now, you might be wondering, what actually happens if you skip myopia control altogether and just stick with regular glasses? In the next video, I'm walking through exactly what that looks like long-term, and why the answer isn't as simple as just a stronger prescription. Click here to watch that next.